All right, so hi you guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another reaction video, and it's another Bill Burr reaction when he was at the Joe Rogan podcast. The video is called Bill Burr Goes Off on Outrage Culture. So yeah, let's get straight into this reaction video.
Usually women that want to push this and men who are bitches. It's like these men that don't like aggressive. They don't like aggressive men. They don't like manly men, and so they push it.
Wait, women that don't like it
as well.
No, because they're aggressive and they're controlling and they want to run shit, and that's because that's the thing where, like, if you really look at their agenda, when they say the future is feminine, that's not inclusive. And they're all about, oh, make this more inclusive. It's like, no, let us in so we can take it over and then we'll push you down. Is the psychology of the kind of person that goes after that, someone that's after, like, power. I'm not saying the average woman is like that. My wife is a feminist and she's into, like, inclusive shit. But, like, people who are spearheading stuff.
Yes.
Like, those people are wired the same way, like, you know, I mean.
A dominator is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no room for you. It's going to be like, think the way, like, a lot of that so-called progressive extreme left is think the way we think, say what we say, or we will fucking destroy you.
Pull up that tweet that I retweeted today, that David Pakman retweet. David Pakman is this liberal progressive guy. This woman posts on Twitter she would never vote for a man or a white man or a white person, white or male, someone who's white or male. He says that's racist and sexist. It is. So she blocks him on Twitter. Today, she called Boston College demanding that they not have him back as adjunct faculty. It's crazy. So this woman posts this, and he points out that it's racist and sexist. So she blocks him, and she tries to get him fired.
Okay, this is why that whole thing is fucked up. Okay, because he's acting like white people exist on an even plane, which a lot of people try to do. So it's like,
but he's not necessarily. He's just saying that what she's saying is racist and sexist.
Yes.
Because she's determining who she's going to vote for based entirely on the race.
Yes, but there's other elements involved, like the level that white people, not saying all white people, but white people have fucked over people who are not white. Forget about poor white people who they fucked over. So you understand that, but they're both right. But then, like, the fact that she then takes it to the point that because he had the audacity to have a difference of an opinion, that's the thing now, and that now we're going to destroy you and you can't be on this thing. And then the other level of,
like, you can't just say whatever you want.
That is how the corporate entities are so afraid that one fucking nickel is going to roll out the door. Because all of this shit is you're just a paper tiger until you get the big behemoth to listen to you. And there's all of these fucking things, from award shows to this bullshit, that someone just needs to be like, listen, this guy already apologized. This is an old fucking thing. Or look, you just had a difference of opinion. That you know, this isn't the first time you're going to say something and somebody's going to disagree with you. That doesn't mean that this guy can't come back. You know, and you obviously, because of some shit that's happened to you, have an extreme opinion about this guy because of the color of his skin. It's like there's so many fucked up elements to that, but for some reason you can't, like, if you address that on any level, then you're part of the problem. And
well,
then
it's not just part of the problem. She's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for pointing out that something is racist.
No,
and
I'm saying
sexist.
if you say what I just said,
yes.
Try to look at it 360.
Oh yeah, you're
as much as I can, which is why I love South Park, because everything that they do it 360, right? And so I learned a lot from that show by the way they look at stuff like that, because I don't fucking know everything. But even just to try to be like, well, hey, you know, insulted him a little bit. I understand what you're saying and blah, blah, blah. You can't fucking do that anymore, because then somebody, you're part of the fucking problem. And no, it's really gotten crazy. It's gotten to the point, like, I've seen, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen, like, you know, a tweet from a fellow comic telling comics what jokes you shouldn't talk about this topic. It's like, who the fuck are you? It's like, there's already going to be enough people doing that. You're going to do, like, cannibalism now?
Have you really? You've really seen comics say that?
Yeah.
Real comics?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their opinion on somebody's fucking act, but I mean, yeah. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's not a real comic.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They are a real comic. They just have an opinion I don't agree with.
They can fuck off.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean. trying to have less confrontations
But I understand.
in my life here.
That kind of shit drives me crazy, though. What drives me most crazy is this bullying. Like, she's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for having an opinion on something that she publicly stated.
One of these, somebody running one of these things has to be like, you know, and it can't just be private. It has to be a public tweet to say that it's just going too far. And this fucking thing where you have a difference of an opinion now, and they're just going to, you know, take your fucking job away. You know, I ran into this shit, you know, when the Me Too stuff first started coming out, people would try to like, you had to tweet the right fucking thing, and if you said anything sort of, oh, let's look at the evidence. God forbid you fucking said that. And it just became like this whole, you're part of the problem. And then they would try to take you down, or someone you were friends with, or doing a show with, or represented by. They would try to do like that pressure to try, and it was just like, and all you had to say is like, no, I'm not doing that. And then it just goes away because you don't have a fucking leg to stand on.
Well, also the people that are doing it, it's a small percentage of it's a very
unbelievably
vocal minority.
Small,
yeah.
Unbelievably small, and you know, comics. It's like we're literally running for office. We're out there campaigning for this election that never happens, and you're going through red states, blue states. You're going through fucking everything, and the general consensus of people is like, dude, that was fucking crazy. Like that doesn't make sense. But no one wants to say it because they're going to get steamrolled. And
well, you know saw what happened to Matt Damon, right? Matt Damon said we have to make a differentiation between the Harvey Weinsteins in the world and then someone who, you know, like Aziz Ansari goes on a bad date. There's a big difference between those two. And they attacked him, and they tried to get him pulled off of that movie Ocean's 8.
Yeah, and they were acting like that, like killing somebody versus stealing a car versus jaywalking. Like literally the whole judicial system is based on what.
I feel like it gets dangerous when you feel like you cannot express yourself anymore and give your own opinion. Even if you would disagree or agree, we need a climate where everyone, you know, have the right and feel like they can't speak up, and then you can take the debate there. But just to try to silence people, bully and cancel and all that, like, I don't know.
What you did is your punishment. Your parents do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How bad was what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what that sounded like.
Exactly.
And we live in a world now where I have to be measured in the way that I say that what he said, you know, affected me, how I heard it, and then I was like, this is just a typical fucking bald white male.
Yep.
And they go in that route. It's like you literally sound like what the fuck you're against, and it's not gonna last. And I feel like it's like the end of the winter, and people want to go outside and get some sun on their face, and you like taking people by the back of their fucking neck and fucking shoving their face in the shit. That you can't sustain that.
No,
you can't sustain it. It doesn't.
It doesn't work. You don't get people to change by yelling at them. Doesn't work.
Or bombing them, like what the fuck we're doing. Like, that's not all you're doing. Is you're just building up resentment, and more people want to fucking take you down. So that's like
they don't understand psychology. So what they think is this is their time. This is their time to get back at men. This is their time to yell at men. This is the time to wear the Future's feminine T-shirts. This is the time to take their stand. And did you not see the Women's March? Saw a bunch of people walking.
Right. Listen, I'm not saying the points that they're making don't need to be made.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that their complaints are not
what they're doing
just. It's the execution of it.
Yes.
Where it's like you're gonna go through intimidation and destroying people, like
exactly
people's careers, and people you have to publicly apologize. It's like
they're bullying people.
Yes. Some of the biggest bullies right now, I can't believe it because I'm a lefty, are on my side of the fucking fence.
I'm a lefty
and you know, when someone's on your side of the fence and you're looking at them like you sound like a fucking crazy person, that's when you've entered, like, you know, what was your special? Strange Times?
Yeah.
Weird, yeah. Like, it's like...
It is strange. Yeah,
it is strange because it's
they feel like they're justified because they feel like with a maniac like Trump in the office that they have to do what they have to do to change the world. But you don't change the world by yelling at people. It doesn't work that way. And there's real points to be made. There's real points about. I couldn't imagine being a woman working in an office with a bunch of guys trying to fuck you all the time. It's got to be a goddamn nightmare. I can't imagine having a bunch of bosses that literally tell you suck my dick, I'll give you a raise. Like, that happens. It's fucking. It's got to be hell. I get it. I mean, I get it.
But you
from
have to
top
be. You
bottom.
got to be like an 8 though, 8 on up, to deal with that every day. I mean, let's be fucking honest. You know what I mean?
Nah, but as well, if we just gotta go out to the grocery store, do anything. Like,
there's really
some sixes out there.
There's
that
really good. If you got a
hit the
personality.
gym a lot. Got a nice ass.
He's funny.
I'm just saying, you know, it's just like some of that shit is like fucking, you know. It's I always viewed it like you ever watch like the behind the scenes of like a prison, and the first thing every guy thinks is how the fuck would I not get raped in there, right?
Exactly.
Women have to think that just fucking walking down the street. So that's how I wrap my head around to be like, wow,
It's
okay,
sad,
like
but
what
true.
they're saying is like, because I don't like.
The stories I have.
Like a lot of the arguments, I'm not like that doesn't make sense. It's what doesn't make sense to me is the children of the corn fucking torches burning, and just go like the way that just I mean a lot of people like they do that with like our foreign policy. Like this whole fucking thing has bankrupted this country. Every August now, they just shut down the government, which has just become normal. And all they do to make it like okay is they just raise the level of debt that we legally can take on or whatever. And it's like, all right, let's do this for another year. And if you question any of that, that means you don't support the troops. And you're a fucking piece of shit. And you need to get the fuck out of here. And it's like so much stuff doesn't make sense to me. Like I just saw Michelle Obama. They had this fucking tweet of her wearing these glitter thigh-high boots and said, sets Twitter on fire with her $4,000 fucking boots. And it's just like, you know, do you don't question where she got that money?
He liked those boots. That's what.
President makes $500,000 a year. She blew $4,000 on thigh-high boots. And don't even talk to me about the fucking book deal and all of that shit. That fucking guy, his first like 2, you know, public speaking engagement things were like with major banks. And you go out on the
Hundreds of
road,
thousands of dollars.
and all these guys are like fucking, all these fellow Americans are upside down in the house from all those fucking banker cunts who did not get punished in 2008. They all, you want to talk about like people who should have had their fucking lives burned down, those people. And these guys, they have their faces in the same fucking pig trough as the guys with the red ties. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know why, like, they get a pass.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
Corruption is gonna exist.
But more serious shit, like drone strikes. More innocent civilians were killed with drone strikes during Obama's administration.
I know, and
than
that's
were
why
ever
they're telling
killed.
me you're fighting terrorism while you're creating more of it. Because all I would want to do is just get revenge.
Exactly.
And, you know, I have very simplistic ways of how to get the fuck out of there.
How do you do it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying the air would be cleaner because I don't know what, like, when you throw a Tesla battery into the fucking ocean, what that does to it. I'm sure it's fucking horrible. But I know that they're a one-stop shop over there in the Middle East. They got oil and that's it, you know? I always compare them. Remember that kiosk in, like, the South Shore Plaza in Boston? There was it was a place called Wicks and Sticks. All they did was sell candles. Which just seemed like a really vulnerable business.
Yeah.
Or pewter pot. First they just sold muffins. And then they started doing full breakfasts. Well, they're like a pewter pot. They're just selling muffins. So if we stop buying muffins, we got enough oil here. If we switch to solar power and all that shit, I know the windmills are ugly, and I know that's probably just as much fucking bad on the environment. But what it does is it gets you out of there. And it bankrupts them, and then they don't have the money to funnel through the mosque to fund the terrorists.
Well, the United States is exporting oil now, which is crazy. I mean, we have a lot of oil,
right?
And especially through, you know, fracking.
But I'm just saying. But if you ever suggested that, which I think I just did,
it's a solution for everything.
I think then for some reason I don't love my country and like I'm trying to solve it. I'm a frugal guy. You know, I don't fucking, you know, I don't spend beyond my means. And, you know, I don't like debt and that type of shit. I don't know how the fuck these guys, I think that's why the president ages so much.
Yeah,
I don't know, sleep.
Crazy.
The pressure. You imagine
the dead bodies.
Everything.
All of that.
Oh, just knowing how everything really works.
Oh, yeah.
Trump doesn't seem to mind. He just takes an extra Adderall, keeps on trucking. He doesn't seem like he's all the scandals. That guy seems completely normal.
Because I think he's a certain level sick mentally that it doesn't get in. I mean, because he hasn't aged at all. Now, granted, he's got all that white stuff around his eyes, and I don't know what he's doing with the hair, but the hair is usually the telltale sign. But I think
it goes gray. Yeah. He's one of the only presidents that it's like half of that shit's probably from a doll. Like, who knows where that hair is.
Well, he's got enough money to do like a transplant at this point, right?
You can't do a transplant on that thing. He doesn't have any donor area.
What do you mean?
Joe is like, I tried everything. You can't.
Got it all in the back, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. You ever see what happens when it flies up in the back when the wind hits it? The back's all bald.
Oh, because he probably did the original plugs and they didn't take.
Who knows what he's got going on back there? He's got chaos going on back there. You ever seen it?
Yeah, I mean, he's
the
president.
wind hits it and his hair flops up. But you ever seen the video of him? It looks he's a guy wearing a demon, like a demon wearing a human mask.
It's very wispy.
Not just wispy, like it's missing, like
Dude,
Chernobyl baby.
Do you know it'd be nuts if he gets a second term and he shaves his head?
That would be nuts.
And he would just look like the most evil fucking dude ever. Like that would be like.
If he got his second term, shaves his head, starts doing intermittent fasting, lifting weights, gets on steroids, drops down to about $190, jacked.
Yeah, I mean that would be. I think it's definitely. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to just in my own little fucking world. I'm trying to chill out more, and I'm trying not to fucking. There's enough yelling. I don't think that they need it from me now.
I think more mocking and laughing than yelling, for sure. But when you see enough of those, the future is feminine T-shirts, and you see enough hypocrisy, and you see enough people trying to take people out for commenting on what's sexist and racist and trying to get people fired, like it's a time of outrage across the board. And you have to respond a little bit. You have to let people know, hey, this is fucking ridiculous. Like there's a certain obligation, especially comedians have as a social commentator. You see some stupid shit if you're not commenting on it.
If you choose to go that route.
Yeah.
Some people just like, all right, I'm just going to let you forget your whole work week and I'm just going to talk about a bunch of shit, small stuff.
I think it's fun when comedians take up serious subjects like that. So you can laugh at, difficult or serious topics and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna speak up and you want to give your opinion about things, like you can never please everyone. There's gonna be people who's mad and all that. You just have to have thick skin these days. But yeah, it's a crazy time we live in. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, comment down below other videos you want me to react to, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.